Hey guys, I wanted to make you a quick, simple video of kind of what we were doing right at the end when we were doing the sleeve placket, and just to show you again how easy it is, and then also to show you how to make a quick buttonhole. That'll help with this as well. So let's do this. So the first thing, let's start with the buttonhole. And what I'm going to do is go over and grab my ellipse tool, and there it is. And I'm going to draw to scale what I think would be a good buttonhole. And I'm going to zoom in and then make certain that I have this at 0.25. So if you're going to draw it at 1, it's going to look like this, and that's not what we want. So just make sure that your stroke line is at 0.25, and then I'm going to make sure that it has no fill, which it doesn't. And if it does, take this time now to hit your question mark and get rid of it. And then all we do is go up to Effect. Let's go down to Distort and Transform, and let's zigzag. All right. Now, before I hit preview, I don't want anybody freaking out that you've done something wrong, because something wild is going to happen when you hit preview at first. And so here it is. Okay, relax. It's fine. It's actually normal. What we're going to do is hop over here and hit relative. Look at that. Already looking better, right? And then I'm going to slowly move this down, probably do 2%. And then what I'm going to do here is kind of do this, and look at that. We're making buttonholes. And so I'm going to hit OK if I'm happy with it. And then I'm going to grab the minus sign on my keyboard, which is a shortcut. And I am going to delete this one anchor point and start to make the shape. So then V, because it's selected, then I'm going to bring it out a little, squish it down a little. And there I have a buttonhole that I can use when I'm ready. So why don't I go ahead now too and just make a button. So once again with this, I'm going to kind of go right towards the edge, because in a buttonhole, the larger end of the buttonhole versus the tapered end, the button is going to be closer to the larger end. So I'm going to hold the Shift and Option key, or Alt or Option, and pull from the center. That draws my circle from the center. And let me fill this with, let's fill this button with white. And let me use my arrows and scoot it over just a little. Maybe scale it down just a little as well. And do this. And so now I have a button and a buttonhole ready to roll when I am ready. So let me just kind of put this over here for now. And then I'm going to go up here and let's zoom out just a little. Okay. And I'm going to do the placket. And so if you remember, all we do with the placket is come over here, grab your rectangle, and kind of to scale like where I want it, the size, something along those lines. I'm going to hit V and move it out over here so I can do what I want to it. I'm going to make sure this is, I want to do light gray as well on that. And then now what I'm going to do is something, remember we use the offset to get the inside stitches, so let's go ahead and do that now, okay? So remember, you just go up to Object, and then you go up to Path, and we're going to offset the path. And so when we offset that path, this is going to pop up. I don't know what your default is. It might be 10 or something. I'm not quite certain. But make certain you hit minus. So -1 is what I had earlier. Now I'm going to try -0.75 and get a preview of that. And I'm okay with that. And let's try -1 and turn preview off, and then turn preview back on. I think I prefer the 0.75 and put a minus in front of that. Turn off preview, and I'll turn it back on to see it, and I'm going to hit OK. And so now all I'm going to do is hit I for eyedropper and come down here and borrow those stitches, and then let's begin to shape the placket for the sleeve. So I'm going to hit V and takes us out of there. And now all I'm going to do is hit the plus sign to add an anchor point right in the center. And then I'm going to add another anchor point right on the top of my stitches. And now I'm going to hit A, go back to the first anchor point I made, and using my arrow keys, shift it up like this, and then the same thing with my stitches. Do those up. Now with A still selected, which is your direct selection, come down here and just touch the bottom line and click, and see how these are highlighted. I'm going to hit delete. I'm going to do the same thing here on the stitches and hit delete. And so now also at this point, what I'd like to do is just get rid of the fill on that. And I'm going to bring this over here and, oops, yeah, there we go, it's rotating. Rotate this to where it's on here and then bring it closer to the inside. And then now what I'm going to do is hit A, which is my direct selection. I'm going to hit this anchor point, hold the shift key, and hit this anchor point so I can select two at the same time, and then just pull this straight down. And so you'll have this, and it'll look like this when you're done. I'm going to zoom out because you want this seam edge towards the inside of the shirt, and then it'll be the same on the other. So now what I'm going to do is come over here and grab my button and buttonhole, and let me tilt it a little, rotate it, bring it over here, and place it. And now I have my button and my buttonhole. So then what I would do is, probably should group those now that you know, and I didn't group them because I wasn't certain if they were going to be the size I wanted. So I'm going to hold the shift key. Let me zoom in. So I've already selected that, as you can see. Hold the shift key, select that. I'm going to group, and then I'm also going to go here, hold the shift key, and group my sleeve placket, Command G. And then now what I'm going to do is select that, and also now with shift key select these two, come over here, go up here, and this is not on the center. I don't have it on a center line, so let me see. I'm going to hit O, and I'm going to kind of eyeball where the center is. Hold the Alt. This comes up, vertical 90, copy. Let's see where it landed. I wasn't too far off on this one. And we go over here and take a look at it. And now I've reflected my sleeve placket to both sides. So if you notice the shirt, if you don't see it in the front, you see it in the back, okay? So don't put it on the front if you're putting it on the back. And also too, just as we start to do a little more of these, some details you might want to think about are yokes. And if you wanted to have a yoke, you could do the pen tool across the back, hold the shift key so it's straight and it intersects. See where it says intersect? You could do that as well. This is stitches, so let's do 0.5, and I'm going to use eyedropper actually, just to get a straight line again through here, and then I'm going to do 0.5. I want it a little thinner. Now if I were to actually use the shape builder tool and make this a closed object in here, then this line is actually going to go back to 1 anyway. Why would I want to do that? What if the yoke was a different color? And so now there wouldn't be a way to actually do this. So what I am going to do now is do this, Shift M, and click once, and notice that the line now, since they're all sharing the same one, this shared that line, and this happened because it was selected when I did Shift M as well. It is an easy fix. Go back. If this happens to you, Shift M, do this, click, hold, drag right through it, and there it is. Voila, it's back. So now if this were to be a different color, now we could make it like that, okay? So you can make all kind of plaid cowboy shorts or whatever you want. So that would be the reason that you would do that. So that could be a detail that you do. And also too, if there are stitches that come with that, then I'm gonna hit A, select this line, copy, Shift F, or Command F, I'm sorry, paste in front, bring it up. Let's try that again. I got too happy. Okay, I'm going to click on this, Command C, Command F, there we go. Move this guy up and come over here. I'm going to grab my eye from my eyedropper, grab a stitch, get it over here, and so then I can have a stitch in the back of my shirt. So this could be a detail that you add to some of your other ones as you start doing this. Also too, you can have this here in the front. And so I've drawn one over here, and what's happened here is, let me just do it for you again. Delete, pin, It's on the path, it's intersecting, and it's coming here. Now I want to show you something. Okay, so there we go. And same thing. So if I wanted this to be its own closed object, so I could make it plaid or whatever, a different plaid, or plaid going in a different direction, even if you notice a lot of the plaid shirts. So why not? Let's grab this, right? And then we do Shape Builder, Shift M, and there we go. You click once on that and you have that as well. Now, what I would do probably is before I would do that, I would draw this again, make sure they intersect, and select it, O, Alt, hit the center, I'm hitting that center anchor point, and copy, and get it on over there. And then let's see if it'll let us do this, if it went where it needed to. I'm going to do all of this, Shift M, click once, and when it went over to copy, see, it's not letting me. And it's not letting me because it isn't connected. Like, we drew this one, so we knew it was connected and it made it. So what we'd have to do over here is click away. If that happens, I wanted you to see that it's not, don't freak out. All we have to do is take this. I like to just take it away and start fresh. Pull in till it says intersect. Take this away, pull back in. Okay, and pull it in. Now there is something hanging on there. What is that? Let's see if that is an anchor. I don't, there we go. So that's what was holding it up. Okay, oh, let's see. Come on, guy. Click once, drag it in. There we go. Now let's see, and I don't think it's gonna work still. I really don't. So let's see, Shift M. Oh, it did. Okay, so it's just a little dragging and making sure that these lines intersect. And now, and if that happens, no big deal. Select it, right? It's its own object. The square is I, hit the gray, and there it is. And so now you have your shirt with some details. So like I said, if that happens, and it's really common for that to happen, once you take it and you reflect it over, the line may not line up perfectly with it, and you just adjust. Okay, just hit the direct selection and then slide it on in, and then same thing. Let's do this. There's stitches, hit A, copy, paste in front, move those stitches up a little, eyedropper, click some, and then same thing over here, A, select that, copy, paste in front, and then eyedropper, get my stitches. Still need to move them up a little so I can see them. I'm going to move these up just a little too, get them perfected, and then that's what you have. So you've got your stitches here. And if your stitches, for some reason, they actually are on top of this because we drew it last on. So if by chance your stitches go into your collar, just do this. Select your collar, arrange, bring to front, and then now the stitches are underneath the collar if they start to show. Okay, so hopefully this will help you guys do some finishing touches and things along those lines. And then we'll work some more in class, and we'll get a little more advanced and a little more detailed as we go forward. So good luck, and if you need anything, just let me know, okay?